In this video, I'll be talking about 5 things that I love about the Harley Davidson Road King. So stay tuned. Good dog, everyone. This is your boy Bly here with IronCross Racing. So in my previous video, I covered 5 things I hate about the Harley Davidson Road King. You can watch the video somewhere up here to see that episode. In this video, I'll be talking about 5 things that I love about the Harley Davidson Road King. So as I kind of alluded to in my last video, 5 things I hate about the Harley Davidson Road King is that I love the Harley Davidson Road King. This has been one of the most enjoyable bikes that I've ever owned. I've owned quite a few. There's so many things that I like about it for the type of riding that I'm currently doing. And that's one thing that's key, right? Is getting the right bike for the type of riding that you want to do. But if you do want to do like a variety of riding, like, hey, I want to go on long trips, but I also want to go off-road, right? So, I mean, if you have like a couple of extremes, you know, I mean, they have adventure bikes, right? They're supposed to be comfortable and they're great off-road, or kind of okay on-road and kind of okay off-road, but it depends. Like I said, one thing that you have to do is kind of make sure that you're matching up the bike that you want to buy to your riding, in your riding style. So the first thing I love about the Harley Davidson Road King is the comfort. This is one damn comfortable motorcycle to ride. Like I had mentioned, I was looking for something a little bit more comfortable to ride in the Texas Hill Country for the type of riding that I'd be doing. And after doing some research, I mean, there's many bikes out there that are comfortable to ride, more so than my Thruxted. But I always wanted to get a Harley Davidson. One of the main reasons being, besides this nostalgia of the bike, because I really like bikes that have a history. Harley, Indian, Triumph, I mean Norton, bikes that just have like a lineage that have been around for, you know, a century or so. But it's just the fact that when you get a Harley, and I know I mentioned this before, it's kind of like you're not only getting a bike, but you're also getting into a club. You know, it's being able to find people and clubs and groups and etc., etc., etc. that ride Harleys is just endless. So I kind of wanted to tap into that a little bit. Anyways, so the Road King is ridiculously comfortable. Love that about the bike. So the second thing I love about the Harley Davidson Road King is the handling. And I know that might surprise some people, but like I said, I've ridden quite a few different motorcycles, from sport bikes to cafe racers to things in between. And I'm actually pretty impressed with the way that the Road King handles for the size of the bike it is. I mean, I can go carve up, you know, the canyons and some of the more of these twistier roads in the hill country, and it does everything that I want it to do. The speeds that I want to go into the corners. I mean, to the point where, you know, because a lot of times, I mean, you could be scraping pegs, or in this case, scraping floorboards, but everything that I can throw out this bike, it just handles, it performs. The other thing about the Road King is that it almost rides itself. And this goes back to the comfort and the handling. And I guess I was listening to somebody, I want to say it was in a live stream, and they were saying that it's the way that the frame's designed, because it's like self-riding. I mean, that's the reason why, you know, and besides this thing has cruise control, is how much no handwriting I can do on this motorcycle. And that's what it's talking about, because it's like it literally takes very little input. Like, I'm just like pushing on the handlebar out on this side right now as we're going around this turn, and it's just like, okay, and then I just pull it up. Look, I back up. It practically rides itself. Now, some people might like that and some people might not like that. I just think it is, allows you to have just a more enjoyable experience. Because if you want to be responsive, the bike responds to your input, so don't get me wrong. And you don't feel disconnected from the motorcycle when you ride it. So the third thing I like about the Harley Davidson Road King is the lockable storage. So as I mentioned, the third thing that I really love about the Harley Davidson Road King is lockable storage. So one of the key things I was looking at for the type of riding I was doing was the ability to actually store your gear. Because this is actually the first motorcycle I've owned that actually has any kind of lockable storage on it. Typically, if I was going on rides, it'd be a backpack, and of course, everything goes in the backpack, and then, if you get off, go in, get some food, do whatever, go shopping, you're carrying a backpack around with you. Now, it wasn't that much of a pain in the ass, but one thing I did not like was the fact that if I knew that if I went down and you have this huge backpack on your back with a lot of stuff in it, it could become a problem when you actually land on it. So one of the reasons why I leaned more towards the Road King than the Heritage was the new Heritages have hard, kind of like they're hard cased, wrapped in leather, kind of soft case, kind of bags. At least they're lockable now. But one thing I liked about the Road King is that it was actually the same, it was painted, right? So instead of just being black bag on the back, kind of more like the Road King Classic, it was painted the same as, the tank, fender, etc. So to me, it just had a nice, cleaner, cooler look to it. So let me go ahead and just show you how cavernous these are. Okay, like I was mentioning though, one thing I did like about the Road King hard saddle bags is they're actually painted as opposed to the Heritage and Road King Classic black bags. And as you can tell, I have a few things in here right now, but these bags are huge. You can actually even get bigger bags, aftermarket stretch bags, which has even a little bit more. But on the trips that I've gone, I don't have a tour pack, right? So I don't have anything sticking off the back. To put additional things, but with my bag that I've done a review on, my Kuryakyn bag on the back with most of my clothes and accessories, I'm able to put gear, gas tanks. I have like a little gas can that goes in here that's actually angled like the front, tools, GoPro stuff, for filming. All that, all can store in the bags and room to spare. So these are just really nice bags. Hard bags. And then of course right here you got your lock. So like I said, the third thing I loved about the Harley Davidson Road King, lockable storage. So the fourth thing I like about the Harley Davidson Road King is the ability to remove the windshield and go from a touring bike to a somewhat cruising bike, cruiser, just mostly for looks, badass, whatever you want to call it. Just by literally, you can actually transform it, right? Change it, switch it out. And that's one of the reasons why I was looking at the Heritage and the Road King, was primarily because the fact that it did have some versatility. I like things that are versatile, things that you can switch from one thing to the other. Just like my Kuryakyn backrest. It could be a backrest for a passenger, or it could be a backrest for myself. It gives me versatility as opposed to just buying one thing that does one thing. And if I ever do upgrade, I probably would go to something like a Road Glide. But a couple things I was, thinking about. For one, it was the cost, right? It's probably another $5,000 or so, maybe a little bit more than that. When I was looking, because I bought this used, it wasn't brand new. It was a year old. Actually, take that back. It was like 6 months old. It was relatively new, but I got a killer deal on it. Side note, but what the difference between getting a Road Glide or a Street Glide is whether or not you want the infotainment center, the speakers, all that stuff all up in front of you, or if you're like me, it's like I got my phone, I got my Sina or my Cardo, Bluetooth, depending on what helmet I'm wearing, and so I can do my GPS, I got my music, I can do my intercom, I can do all that stuff, and I don't need all that big old huge ferry to spend all that extra money. And since it was kind of expensive to get into the Road King to begin with, decided to save a little bit of money and just start off here. So the fifth thing I love about the Harley Davidson Road King is the range. So coming from bikes that had a smaller gas tank, this thing has incredible range on it. Plus, it's got just enough technology in regards to this little instrument panel here, to where you can see like how much fuel you have until you run out, which is pretty accurate. The fuel gauge here, I wouldn't trust that worth a hill of beans, because that doesn't really show you much. But this little tack gauge here, it's got, you know, it's got how many miles you've gone, it's got, you know, your odometer obviously to reserve, it's got the time, and it's got what gear and RPMs you're in. So it does quite a bit. Now the only negative is the fact that you have to look down at it as opposed to having something that's a little bit higher. But as far as pluses for the bike, having that 200 plus mile range is definitely great for touring. You know, some people, like, now if you had a Sporty with a 200 mile tank, or a tank that got you 200 miles, that might not be that beneficial, because one thing on a Sportster, it's, you know, it's being able to run out of gas so you get off your bike and take a break, right? You know, most people that ride long distances, it's like when a bike runs out of gas, it's just about the time they really need to get their helmet off, give their legs and butt a break, etc., etc. So folks, those are the 5 things I love about the Harley Davidson Road King. If you guys got anything that you love about this motorcycle, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Again, this is your boy Bly with IronCross Racing. I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and press that subscribe button. And don't forget the bell notification so you can be alerted whenever I release a new video. And I hope to see you all next time. Peace.